Step right in and prepare for a heart-pounding journey through the latest spine-chilling events unfolding in Jerusalem. Just 60 minutes ago, something unimaginable shook the city to its core, leaving everyone on edge. Curious to uncover the mystery behind these terrifying occurrences? Well, you're in luck. So let's dive into this video today to know. Get ready to embark on a thrilling adventure as we unravel the secrets lurking in Jerusalem's darkest hour. Reconstruction of the Third Temple. Many people want to build the Third Temple in Jerusalem. They think it's even more important than the old temples that are not there anymore. Even though it hasn't been built yet, it means a lot in Judaism. The Third Temple in Jerusalem is super important for many people, especially Orthodox Jews. They see it as more special than the old temples that are no longer standing. Even though it hasn't been built yet, many people are excited about it. For Orthodox Jews, it's not just a building, but a meaningful symbol of holiness and a special place for praying. Since 1987, a group called the Temple Movement has been getting ready to build the Third Temple. They are slowly working towards this goal in the 21st century. While many people in modern Israel and around the world aren't very religious, Orthodox Jews take this very seriously. They see it as a spiritual duty and don't involve non-religious people. They even brought back the Sanhedrin, a religious group overseeing temple rules, to ensure the temple was built correctly. For Orthodox Jews, building the temple is super important because they believe it will improve the world. They are sure the world can only improve if the temple is built. Gershon Salomon, who leads the Temple Mount Faithful, is actively working to get support in Israel to build the temple. They've even organized protests, made a special stone for the temple, and created things for it. According to Solomon, building the Third Temple is necessary to fulfill the destiny of the people mentioned in the Bible who live in the Holy Land. The Sanhedrin, a group responsible for temple affairs, gets ready for temple services by planting a special tree with plants needed for the Third Temple. Speaking for the Sanhedrin, Rabbi Hillel Weiss says the temple connects the land and God. Surprisingly, many sacrifices in the temple involve plants from Israel, not just animals and blood. The return of Israel to the Promised Land and the building of the Third Temple match prophecies in the Bible from prophets like Ezekiel and Isaiah. They talked about God's promise to bring His people together. In the Bible, Ezekiel says, "Then the nations will know that I, the Lord, make Israel holy when my sanctuary is among them forever." This means when God's special place, the sanctuary, is with the Jewish people, everyone will see that Israel is special. Isaiah's quote says, "I will say to the north, give them up, and to the south, do not hold them back. Bring my sons from afar, and my daughters from the ends of the earth." This shows that God wants His sons and daughters from all over to return to the Promised Land, gathering them from every corner. While some believe Yeshua serves in the true tabernacle in heaven, the longing to build the Third Temple isn't just about making a physical structure. It's about creating a place for God's special presence. A quote from the Bible says, "Let them construct a sanctuary for me, that I may dwell among them." The prophet Ezekiel saw God's special presence leaving the old temple, but also saw it coming back and staying in a new eternal home in Jerusalem. Since ancient times, a wise Jewish philosopher said the Third Temple isn't just repeating history. It's a symbol showing that God is always with His people forever. So building the Third Temple isn't only about respecting the past. It's about showing that God's presence is always there with His people. Arrival of red heifers. 5 special red heifers from a Texas ranch recently made their way to Israel, causing quite a stir, especially among those who believe in a prophecy about building the Third Temple in Jerusalem. If these less than a year-old heifers remain completely red and flawless, they can be used to make ashes, crucial in Jewish law to purify those near a dead body, especially important for future temple priests. After their arrival, these unique heifers underwent a quarantine of at least 7 days in Haifa, following Israel Veterinary Authority rules. Later, they'll be moved to 2 different places in Israel, with one eventually open to the public. They'll be cared for until they are 3 years old, at which point they can be sacrificed and their ashes made according to Jewish law. Bone Israel, an organization of Jews and Christians, played a significant role in finding and bringing these heifers to Israel. Byron Stinson, a Texas rancher working with the organization, raised these special cattle. The heifers were welcomed with a special ceremony at Ben Gurion Airport, attended by Temple Institute officials and other important figures. According to rabbinical tradition, 9 red heifers were sacrificed since Moses' time, but none after the Second Temple's destruction. Rabbi Maimonides taught that the Messiah himself would sacrifice the 10th red heifer. The recent arrival of these 5 perfect red heifers from Texas to Israel is seen by many as the fulfillment of prophecy and a significant step toward building a new temple. The rules for a red heifer, as in the Mosaic law, are strict, without defect or blemish, and never worn a yoke. Numbers 19:2. The process of slaughtering a red heifer is explained in Numbers 19:1-10, and it involves purification from sin using the red heifer's ashes. These instructions about the red heifer foreshadowed the sacrifice of Christ for the forgiveness of sins. Like the red heifer, Jesus was without blemish. Just as the red heifer was sacrificed outside the camp, Jesus was crucified outside Jerusalem. The red heifer's ashes, cleansing people from death contamination, parallel Christ's sacrifice, saving us from the penalty and corruption of sin and death. The discovery of an ancient temple beneath Temple Mount. Once, it was believed there was no temple on the Temple Mount site. However, a surprising discovery changed everything. In 1927, a powerful earthquake damaged the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. The Muslim Waqf, led by Grand Mufti Haj Amin al-Husseini, allowed archaeological investigations on the usually restricted Temple Mount area to repair it. During pre-state Israel's mandatory period, Robert Hamilton partnered with Muslim clerics to research where the mosque had collapsed. However, Hamilton faced limitations in his cooperation and avoided including findings that might upset the Muslim community. Nevertheless, many of his discoveries date back to periods before Muslim rule, including the Second Temple and Byzantine eras. These findings remained hidden for decades, but are now emerging. Nearly 80 years later, Israeli archaeologists Dr. Gabi Barkai and Zaki Devira revisited Hamilton's concealed findings. They sifted through tons of earth removed from the Temple Mount about 13 years ago, uncovering countless small archaeological items that shed light on Jerusalem's history. Among the discoveries was a Jewish mikveh, a ritual purification pool from the Second Temple era, likely used by Jews before entering the temple grounds. Numerous small items from the First and Second Temple periods were also unearthed. Hamilton's findings included remains of a Byzantine mosaic beneath the damaged mosque's floor. Devira discovered mosaic stones, column fragments, and evidence of a Byzantine-era church, 324-638 CE, in the earth from the Temple Mount. These findings challenge previous beliefs, suggesting that the Temple Mount wasn't empty during the Byzantine era, but likely had structures, perhaps even churches. A marriage in Temple Mount. In Jeremiah 33:11, there's a prophecy that talks about a joyful era with the voice of joy and the voice of gladness, symbolizing the happiness linked to the arrival of a future Messiah and the Third Temple. This prophecy has sparked a growing trend in Israel, where Jewish individuals visit the revered Temple Mount, seeing it as a sign of the Messiah's imminent arrival. A couple from Rehovot and Tel Mond, Eitan Krantman and Coral Daisy Dean, recently got engaged on the Temple Mount, representing a practice gaining popularity among Jewish couples. They combined both stages of a traditional Jewish marriage, kiddushin, betrothal, and nisuin, wedding ceremony, under the chuppah. This highlighted the belief in humanity's creation in God's image and the establishment of an everlasting union. This significant moment on the Temple Mount is tied to a verse from Jeremiah, often recited at weddings. The verse foretells a time of joy and thanksgiving in the land. The Temple Mount features historical gates for bridegrooms and mourners, known as the Gate of Mercy. As more Jewish couples choose the Temple Mount for their engagements, they see it as the fulfillment of ancient prophecies, like Zechariah 8:20-22, which speaks of people from various cities coming to Jerusalem to pray to the Lord. These events are seen as awe-inspiring and align with biblical prophecies. Appearance of UFO. On January 28, 2011, something extraordinary happened in Israel. A person witnessed an unusual sight in the sky, often referred to as a UFO or unidentified flying object. Walking around, they noticed a cluster of lights resembling a ball of light hanging in the sky. Perceiving it as strange, the person quickly recorded it with a camera. The light descended closer to the rooftops for about 20 seconds and then shot back up into the sky at an incredibly fast speed, almost as fast as light itself. This peculiar event occurred right over Jerusalem, precisely above the Dome of the Rock, also known as the Temple Mount, a place of significant importance for Christians, Muslims, and Jews. Many events from the Bible and other religious stories are said to have taken place there, such as Abraham's attempt to offer his son to God, Solomon building the first temple, Jesus confronting money changers, and Prophet Muhammad ascending to heaven. Surprisingly, this UFO sighting wasn't a one-time occurrence. UFOs appear to visit Jerusalem quite frequently, with residents reporting sightings of strange flying objects regularly. This has become somewhat of a yearly phenomenon, leaving people puzzled about the mysterious activities in the city's skies. Moreover, in 2022, a U.S. drone spotted a strange flying object resembling a metal ball in the Middle East. However, there's a catch. Not everyone sees these UFOs when they appear. Even if someone tries to film them, the videos often turn out blurry. Our phones, it seems, aren't equipped to effectively capture objects in the sky. After the UFOs over the Dome of the Rock went viral, there is confusion about who filmed these strange videos. Stories about unidentified flying objects raise suspicions when the person behind the camera remains unidentified. If someone genuinely witnessed something unusual, they would want to share it with everyone. The lack of information about the person filming these videos has led to speculation. Some people suggest that one person may have created all the videos, raising doubts about their authenticity. If this were true, at least one of the individuals who recorded the videos would likely have come forward by now to share their story. This mystery has left people wondering about the true nature of these sightings. Furthermore, it's not just the mystery of who filmed the videos. Nobody else seems to have witnessed these lights except for those who recorded them. The Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem is a widely recognized and special place, attracting many visitors daily, including tourists interested in religion. Despite the potentially thousands of people around when the videos were taken, no one else reported seeing or recording these bright lights, adding an extra layer of peculiarity to the situation. In one video, a woman mentioned that the light was so bright it hurt her eyes. However, a strange aspect is that the light didn't appear to reflect on the gold dome below it. This anomaly raises suspicions, suggesting that someone may have added the UFO light to the video using computer manipulation. Creating a simple light effect is easier than fabricating an entire UFO with intricate details like windows or shadows, making it appear suspicious. The videos of the UFO over Jerusalem have sparked numerous debates, with some people believing they are real and others dismissing them as fake. Those who believe in the videos don't present more compelling reasons than those who doubt their authenticity. In the realm of science, merely claiming something is wrong isn't sufficient. One needs to provide a better explanation that aligns with all the known facts. Moreover, upon closer inspection, the supposed alien aircraft in the videos appears disproportionately small when compared to the size of the dome it hovers over. The UFO seems only about 15 feet long, which seems incongruent with a spacecraft that purportedly traversed the entire universe to appear on camera. Experts, such as Robert Schieffer, who has extensively studied UFOs, assert that the videos are undoubtedly fake. Schieffer highlighted how the video was altered using computer tricks. The person who created the videos used special effects to simulate a shaking camera, and these manipulations are evident along the edges of the video. This indicates that the video didn't go directly from the camera to YouTube. It underwent alterations using sophisticated computer software. When videos are edited in this manner, a skilled trickster can make it seem like anything is happening, further casting doubt on the authenticity of the footage. Since the videos first emerged, passionate arguments have ensued over their legitimacy. Some fervent UFO believers defend the videos, insisting they are genuine. However, when skeptics question the videos, these believers must provide more convincing reasons to prove their authenticity. The situation resembles a heated debate where everyone holds a different perspective, yet no one presents more compelling evidence. Adding a touch of irony to the situation is that the UFO was reportedly seen in Jerusalem. In this city, many UFO enthusiasts often base their beliefs on faith rather than concrete evidence. Water libation ceremony. On October 12th, a special ceremony called the water libation happened, resembling an ancient temple tradition. Led by special priests called Kohanim and Levites with musical instruments, they followed old paths from the old city of Jerusalem to Shiloh, also known as Siloam Springs. The parade included chanting, dancing, and silver trumpets. With a golden jug filled with water from the Shiloh pool, they set up a model altar and tools on the mountain summit, continuing ancient temple traditions. The ceremony ended with the rare priestly blessing and the Hakel ceremony, which happens once every 7 years. Although the Torah doesn't mention the water ceremony, people consider it part of Moses' oral teachings and celebrate it like a joyful holiday. This ceremony lasted 15 hours in the Old Temple and continued with celebrations all night until the next morning's temple service. People worldwide came for Sukkot celebrations, making it a universal day of worship. The Shiloh pool, also known as Shalom in English and Silwan in Arabic, is of biblical importance and is expected to come back to life vividly after the building of the Third Temple. Pilgrims once started their journey to Jerusalem at this pool for biblical feasts, cleaning themselves before presenting sacrifices in the inner court of the Temple Mount. Discovered in 2004, ongoing exploration reveals its historical significance. According to the Babylonian Talmud, the year after the Shemitah, a special year, is considered lucky for the Messiah's arrival. The Book of Amos prophecy suggests the return of the tribe of Israel from other nations. The Talmud talks about challenges before the Messiah comes, focusing on the uncertain need for another physical temple. Instead, building a spiritual temple involves living a devoted life to God and preparing for potential end-time challenges. Jewish Messiah. After a defeat, Benjamin Netanyahu reclaimed the position of Israel's prime minister 16 months later. Some Jewish rabbis think he might be a precursor to the Messiah. Other rabbis suggest he could be a type of Messiah or fulfill the role of Messiah ben Yosef or the Messiah ben David. According to one of the articles, some rabbis claim Netanyahu is already meeting with the Messiah. They're seeking a Messiah different from Jesus Christ, and this raises concerns about fulfilling Bible prophecies about the Antichrist and the false prophet. Years before Netanyahu's recent election victory, Rabbi Yitzki Yurti, a respected sage, along with Rabbi Menachem Tov Nir, suggested Netanyahu could be Israel's last prime minister before the Messianic age. Ultra-Orthodox Jews in Israel hold on to these beliefs, especially with the recent elections on November 1st, 2022. In an old video clip, a highly esteemed rabbi expresses the view that Netanyahu needs to do more to usher in the arrival of the Messiah. These discussions among rabbis and their interpretations of Netanyahu's role complicate Israel's ongoing political and religious discourse. While there is clear evidence that Jesus Christ fulfilled messianic prophecies in the Old Testament, some instances tie Benjamin Netanyahu to the imminent Messiah, or the Jewish Messiah, distinct from Jesus Christ. An article from November 19, 2018, titled "Netanyahu Holding the Keys for the Messiah," quotes Rabbi Schneerson expressing both concern and hope for Netanyahu's role. Rabbi Schneerson, expressing a mix of concern and hope, mentions, "It pains me to see how many people continuously spill Netanyahu's blood. However, I have a surprise for you. He will come out of it, stand tall on God's side, fulfill the promise from the rabbi, and hand his keys over to the Messiah." Another article from 2018 echoes the same idea, stating that Netanyahu will hand the wand to the Messiah, specifically the Son of David. This connection between Netanyahu and the arrival of the Jewish Messiah adds an intriguing layer to discussions, with implications for what some consider the Antichrist or the false prophet. Referencing John 7:42, the article emphasizes the scripture's indication that Christ comes from David's descendants and Bethlehem, aligning with the expectation tied to Netanyahu. The article delves into Shem Mishmuel's discussion of the Jewish perspective on the Messiah, presenting it as a two-stage process. The primary stage, Mashiach ben Yosef, involves practical aspects like gathering exiles and building the land of Israel. The second stage includes the Davidic dynasty's re-established order and the Third Temple's construction. According to Shem Mishmuel, Jonathan is anticipated to come as the reincarnation of Mashiach ben Yosef, representing the Messiah from the house of Joseph. In the future, he is expected to serve as the second to the Mashiach ben David, representing the Messiah from the house of David and embodying the reincarnation of David. This arrangement is seen as fulfilling a promise to function as David's second in command. The article emphasizes the rich traditions and beliefs developed over the years, extending beyond biblical scripture. These traditions form a unique perspective, sometimes considered Torah reality, shaping how people interpret political figures like Netanyahu in the context of messianic expectations. In contrast, the beliefs about Netanyahu's messianic role involve various methods and stages, creating a diverse spectrum of messiahs. This diversity becomes particularly intriguing when viewed in correlation with Bible prophecy, which foretells the coming of messiahs. The prophecy also hints at the arrival of an antichrist and a false prophet, as mentioned in Matthew 10:5-6. So what do you think of the new nightmare in Jerusalem? Comment below and subscribe for more.